Okay guys, we just wanted to make a video this is going to be a safety video on how we like to climb and transition from our climbing sticks and or if you're climbing DRT or SRT into your platform and into your saddle, sitting into your saddle. The reason we're doing this is recently we've heard of a couple of incidents where one guy took a really nasty fall. Fortunately, he wasn't really seriously injured. He was injured seriously enough where he broke his ankle, and that's bad enough, but it could have been a lot worse. And there was another individual that we heard about that with his quick reflexes he was able to bear hug the tree, and he just had some bruises and stuff. But we thought it was important for guys that are getting into saddle hunting to focus on their safety and one of the most dangerous, I feel the most dangerous parts is, even if you were hunting in a tree stand or whatever, transitioning from your climbing stick onto your stand or onto your saddle platform. So Scott's going to demonstrate how he does it, and we just want you guys to pay particular attention to the fact that at no point is he ever vulnerable to a fall, in the sense that he is not hooked up to something that's providing him some type of fall restraint or fall arrest. All right, so at that I'll let Scott take it.
All right. So as you're coming up the tree on your sticks, your wild edge steps, your screw-in steps, whatever your method is of coming up, 90% of all falls are climbing into a stand platform or climbing back out. And also now, of course, with this new saddle craze, I think guys are a little too quick to get into their platforms and get set up, and they're just not going through everything. They're not going through all the steps. They're really, you got to take your time. At this point, when you go to step into your platform, you need to slow everything down.
Yep.
Okay, and that's when you need to say, okay, my tether's around the tree. Okay, check my Prusik knots. Okay, my lanyard. Keep your lanyard tight. All right. Now, when you go to transition, this is how I would do it, just to make myself safe. Now, I'm on my platform and I'm still on my stick. Okay, so now I'm close enough. All right, my lanyard's contact, keeping me in contact with the tree. I want to take my carabiner on my tether. Okay, clip myself in. Okay, now at least right now at this point, I have 2 points of contact. Okay, now before I come off of this, I want to make sure. I want to check this thing. I want to bomb-proof this system. Okay, I want to put my weight into it. All right, I want to make sure nothing's slipping. Everything's in good shape. My carabiner's in good shape. My knots are correct. All right, so before I come off of this lanyard, step into my platform, and then what I like to do even more, give yourself a little bit more slack in your lanyard. All right, I want to seat that tether. I want to make sure I can come off of this thing. Now my weight's fully off this. I'm on my tether.
Yeah, okay. He's testing out his tether, but you see his lanyard's still in place.
Right. My lanyard's still in place because, God forbid, if this system here did fail, okay, now I got a lot of slack here. I'm going to get hurt, but I'm not going to the ground.
Yep.
All right. So before this comes off, like I said, you need to slow everything down. Make sure that this is correct. That this is 100% correct. And I'll even go a step further now too. For all the newbies out there, if you're not 100% sure, like you say, all right, I followed all the directions, I watched the videos, I read my instructions, you can always back your system up. And Joe and I always talk about this all the time, okay? You can have a second bridge, okay? And all you got to do with that, clip in, all right? I have two Prusik knots. Joe, this is actually Joe's tether. Joe keeps 2 Prusik knots on there, okay, with his carabiner. But now Now you notice I'm connected to everything. I still have not taken anything off. Now I have 2 points here. Okay, so when I go to take this off, or another thing that you can do, you know, if you really, the thing is with 2 carabiners, I mean, unless you tape these or put some stealth strip on them,
you got to make them quiet.
You have the tendency of them clanging and making noise.
Yep.
I'm just trying to show you something as far as safety. But as far as noise goes, if you don't want to do that, the other thing that you can do, all right, is take the tag end of your tether, okay, go through your second bridge, okay,
and tie it off.
And just tie it off, okay. Now I don't have a whole lot of slack here because this tree is pretty.
Yeah,
massive.
Unfortunately, we picked a tree that was so.
But make sure
heavy,
that you have a good long tail, you know, so that you can put the proper knot in on the end of this.
Yeah, and what he's doing there, all he's doing is he's looking at his system, and listen, when you're hanging off of that tether, it's basically a chain, right? You have your tether, you have a Prusik or a ropeman, and then you also have a carabiner, and then that ties to a bridge. Right. And it's a chain of event. It's a chain.
It's only good as its weakest link.
It's its weakest link, exactly.
Right. So
and
now,
if you can back up any of those links in that chain, it's going to make you that much safer.
Exactly. So now that I know I'm definitely safe, then your lanyard comes off. Put it away in your sys hauler bag, your backpack, whatever you do.
Yep.
But now I know. I feel 100% safe on this system. I know it's not going to fail on me. Okay. I still got this, you know, I'm not much of a leaner. I'm more of a guy with a rope. I like the DRT system. It gives me a little bit more mobility. But, you know, like I said, I still feel 100% safe with this.
Yeah.
I know I'm not falling. I know I'm not going to the ground. I checked everything, and I backed my system up.
Yep.
And that's the main thing, you know. I'm not saying that, you know, one bridge is going to fail, okay? That's not what I'm getting at here. All I'm saying is for peace of mind in your head, if you're new to this and you're a little uneasy and unsure of yourself, just back it up. Back it up with a second bridge, with a second carabiner, or take the tail end of the tether, tie that off to your second bridge. All right, now there's no doubt in your mind. Yep. Now from this point on, you can focus 100% on hunting.
On hunting, yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. If you swing around that tree, you're not like, oh my God, am I going to slip? Is this going to fall? Is this, you know? Now you can focus on hunting, because that's where it has to be. When you're up in the tree, that's what we're here for. We're here to focus on hunting.
Right.
You know, we always want to make sure we're safe. But once we made sure,
once you're sure and you get that out of your way, you're good.
Our system's bomb-proof. Now it's time to hunt.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, I can show you also another thing. Like, I mean, like I said, I climb DRT. I'm mostly on my rope, and I never come off my rope. All right. I'm not that I'm against tethering. I'm just more comfortable on that. I've been doing it for so long. You know, it's like breathing to me. So I stay attached to my rope, and I know. And for me, I mean, granted, yeah, that's a single point of contact, but it's an approved, certified rope that I take care of it. I know it's not going to fail on me. I always inspect it all the time. I inspect my carabiners. No
different than the guys who are looking at their tether. You're either on your tether or you're on. Right. If you're an SRT, DRT guy, you're going to be on a climbing line.
Yep.
And really, it's just a real long tether is all it is, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It just, it gives me a little more freedom of mobility. Like I said, when I'm tied in, I'm probably, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 feet above my platform. The higher I am tied into, of course, like a pendulum, I have more freedom of movement. So I know I'm not on a real large diameter tree. I could get all the way around that tree when I'm on my rope.
I think one of the benefits to that too is when you watch most of the guys when they're climbing, if we're hunting using our sticks, and you're transitioning to a tether, there is a transition. So it's you're clipping in, clipping out. You got to keep looking at all your gear. You got to make sure everything's right when you're making that transition. That I think the one guy who one of these guys who fell, he's not really sure exactly what happened, but there's a potential that when he clipped it in, he didn't have it clipped on all the way or something like that. Maybe he couldn't see it when he thought he had it clipped on his loop. You know, if you're climbing either DRT or SRT and you're checking all that stuff when you're on the ground, once you climb up, there's no transition.
Right.
You're always staying on it.
Yeah.
So
same thing when you come out too, you know. Now what I want to do is just the opposite. I want to make sure that my lanyard is going to take my weight. All right, but I don't unclip. I come around, I get on my sticks, okay? And now I'm on the stick. It's not out of the way. Okay? Now I can take my tether off the tree, put my tether away. Now I'm on my sticks. Come down, I can undo my platform. Now you're on your lanyard the rest of the way down the tree. So you're never, ever, you know, you're always attached. You're never unattached from that tree.
Yep.
And that's it. Like I said, the main thing, guys, is like I said, when you get up top, when you go, you know, I like to put one foot on my platform, one foot on my stick, if that's the way I'm climbing that day. Hook in my tether. Or if I'm on DRT, same thing. If I come up to this spot, you know, I'm coming up the tree, you know, I just right before I step on, you know, I'm going to keep all that tension on my climbing line before I set all my weight on this platform.
Yeah, because if that platform were to go,
right,
if it were to move, you know you're safe.
Moves, right. If it slips a little bit out from under me, right, I know I got tension. I've always got tension on my line all the time. All right, but like I said, yeah, when climbing in and climbing out, slow it down. That's the main thing. And then if it's in the dark, I mean, we all got lights, you know, we carry lights with us, green lights, red lights. You know, even if you got to click on your regular light, if you're not sure, always make sure these knots are right. Make sure your carabiner is right. Make sure that gate closes on your carabiner.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's.
And you have a screw lock, or if you have, you know, another carabiner that has like a 2-point system or a 3-point locking system, okay, make sure all the time. Anybody who has an, I see those spring gates, you know, that's not what you want at 25 feet off the ground, okay?
Yeah.
That is not what you want. I mean, you may feel good about it, maybe you climbed on it a long time, but you know what, there's a potential for something going wrong all the time. You always want that gate locked in, because that's where the carabiner has all of its integrity, okay? Because now it's a closed system, okay? So if this doesn't lock, if this was to come all the way down, okay, and that didn't lock, okay, that's weak, that right there. That's got to bear all your weight. So
yep.
If it's dark out and you're not, you know, you hear that or whatever, I mean, of course you don't want to make that noise, but you're thinking to yourself, that carabiner's closed, okay? That's a weak carabiner right there, okay? When that carabiner locks in, now it's like one piece.
Yeah.
This is where the integrity
now
is.
it's like a chain.
Right.
You know,
Now it's like a chain.
Like a chain
right.
link.
Exactly. Now that carabiner's doing its job.
Right.
You know, and a lot of the guys, I mean, I've seen guys, I know guys in the tree industry who've taken a fall because the gate, it was an old carabiner, a gate hadn't closed all the way, and when he went to readjust, you know, came off his D-ring, slipped right out of that thing, and he took a 20-foot fall, and he's lucky he's still alive today.
Yeah.
But, you know,
well, you know
make
what?
sure everything, you got to bomb-proof everything before you put 100% of your weight on that platform.
I was thinking of there's a saying that I guess I think it's Navy SEALs that say it. They say slow is fast, fast is slow.
Correct.
And if you think about it, it's right.
Absolutely.
Like if you're taking your time and making sure that everything you do is precise and worked and done right, yeah, you're going slower when you're doing it. You're not rushing it,
right.
But you're going to do it right the first time.
Right the first time, everything's going to work.
Right. So if you don't do it right the first time and something happens,
right.
You're not even going to get to go hunting. You're probably going to fall, get hurt, something like that.
Wrong is fast, because
right.
You won't believe how fast you come out of that tree.
Yeah.
And you can ask the guys who already took those falls.
Yeah.
Quicker than you can blink.
Yeah.
You know.
And this
never want to be in that situation.
Right. So that's the thing. Like with this, we've got to learn from, you know, mistakes and you know, just anytime something happens, I think it's really a smart idea for all of us to take a step back, look at things, because at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than your safety. You know, if you hunt, well, you know, no deer is that important. We want to all go out, have a good time, you know, enjoy ourselves, and nobody's going to be enjoying themselves if they get hurt.
That's right. You can't show that trophy off or eat that meat, man, if you're friggin' broken up at the bottom of the tree.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So, and a poor guy that took that fall, you know, he's probably out for the whole season.
Got a long road recovering ahead of him, man. That's a tough. I mean, from what I understood, the way he broke his ankles, he's going to need screws, and you know,
it's not good.
You know, it's he's in a long road to recovery, man. That's a shame. It sucks. I feel bad for him.
Yep. So
but thank God he still has his life.
Yeah, and I'm glad that
he get a second chance.
I'm glad that he shared his story, because you know something. There's a lot of new guys. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are getting into this, and a lot of people I think are kind of rushing into it.
Right.
You know,
I hope that slows everybody down a little bit.
Right.
Everybody takes a little pause and says, "Whoa, wait a minute. You know, that could have been me." You know.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's just like, listen, you hear, you know, when we were all kids growing up, man, you know, so and so, he drank too much and he got behind the wheel. I only have a couple and I get behind the wheel.
Right.
You know what?
Yep.
You could be the next.
Yep.
You know, so slow it down, make sure it's done right.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you know, we all want to have a successful hunt and make it back home to our families. So, you know, and just look, just getting hurt in a tree it's hell, man, because it's, you know, you may never go up another tree again if you get severely hurt. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you may still have your life, but you may say, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
You might. He might just take up hunting from a ground blind from now on, right?
Right.
So.
Yep. So, stay safe, guys.
Yeah, guys.
You know,
be safe, and if you guys have any questions or anything, you know, pose them in the comments section. We just wanted to bring this up and kind of emphasize, you know, safety. Any of you guys that are climbing using, you know, other methods like we use with DRT, SRT, really take your time and maybe seek some professional training. I highly recommend that. There's a couple of different organizations out there. This way you can climb like a pro and know how you're doing it right, and safe, you know. So take your time, be safe, and best of luck to you guys out there. Okay.
Good luck, guys.